Alright, this is it. This is the year that has been coming for a long time now. This is the year that I'm finally actually going to fucking finish something in this stupid ass game. I am declaring it at the start of the video that my goals for 2018 in Old School RuneScape are to achieve 200 million experience in strength, agility, magic and fishing, and I'm actually going to do it. I swear I'm not going to decide at the last minute or say that I'm deciding at the last minute, but actually I decided about 6 months beforehand and go do some other pointless skill. I'm actually going to do it, what I've been talking about for like the last 4 years in these videos. Going to get 200 mils and then I'm going to click the logout button and I'm going to unsubscribe and I'm going to stop playing the game, and it's going to be awesome. I don't know why I withdrew 2 super combat potions for this task, but I guess I was just a bit too excited to make this declaration to you, my loyal subscriber base, about my plans for the year, because they're exciting for once. They actually have something going on in them rather than, oh yeah, I'll finish this one skill and then piss ass around for ages and not get anything done. Yeah, it's big news. Because, I don't know, 2017 was a bit of a piss ass around year. I just sort of didn't do anything conclusive for the first half. I mean, I finished off my 192 million strength experience. I think it was like 100 and... Actually, who am I kidding? I was about 105. I've got my page open for my stats here. Start of last year, and I just finished watching my last year's wrap-up video, so I'm not going to fucking lie to you. I was 105 million experience in strength when I started the year. So I gained like, what, 80 something or other, 87 mil strength XP, while continuing to do Slayer, and I got that up to 70 something. Surely it wasn't 73 mil, it might have been 72. Yeah, at that point, I had no fucking clue what I was going to do, basically, and I ended up doing some mining for a while, sort of flip-flopping around between different methods. I did some quarry, which required me to do my first quest in years. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of Garden of Tranquility. Not a fan of that quest at all. But yeah, I did some granite mining at the quarry, also some sandstone, both of them, and I just couldn't settle into it. I don't have the drive to do that sort of intense hardcore skilling anymore. I'm not mentally prepared, so I pussied out, headed down to the blast mine and did that to, what am I, 40, I think I got my mining XP to the exact same number as my woodcutting XP, because it's pretty funny. But yeah, I did mining at the blast mine, made a chunk of money. I don't know how much money I made, honestly, maybe 6 to 800 mil, maybe. I'd have to go back and look at the pictures, but yeah, I was just kind of trucking along doing blast mine with no real goal in terms of when I was going to stop, and that was up until they had the mobile announcement, and that's when I all of a sudden had a very distinct goal as to knowing when I wanted to stop, and sort of kicked myself into gear and decided, alright, I'll finish mining when I've got enough money to go straight back into Slayer, and then I'll do magic, and then I'll quit. And so that's been my trajectory for the past, I don't know, when did that announcement come out? It was like August or September, wasn't it? It was fucking ages ago. But yeah, I've stuck to that plan pretty solidly. If anything, I've accelerated it by changing up my task list. Okay, sadly, this celebrates episode 1, July 18th. So that was when they announced mobile to be coming out, and I decided I didn't want to play the game anymore because it didn't suit what I wanted to do. Why do I have more extra runes? I shouldn't be talking while getting a new task, but nah. A lot of purpose this year compared to most other years for me. It's been good and focused. I've sort of changed how I'm doing Slayer compared to how I did it last time. Doing obviously a lot more heavily barrage centered, especially recently with Australian servers coming out. Had a big change in it because back when I was on the American servers only, I could not fucking stand doing Necreal and Dust Devil tasks. I tolerated smokes because that was the only way I knew that they existed, but something about Nex and Dusts just felt really off. But now that I've had a chance to do them on low ping, they're not bad. If anything, I kind of enjoy them. Pretty good to do. And yeah, oh actually wait, I completely forgot. I did like 30 mil agility in there, in between the mining and the Slayer. I sat down and did about 30 mil agility and I made some money from that because I got the Marks of Grace. Completely forgot about that because nobody in their right mind actually remembers the agility that they do in old school RuneScape, and I'm going to take a drink because my throat is disgusting. But yeah, I did all that agility and just straight up forgot about it. Anyway, what was I even talking about? Yeah, so Slayer is a bit different this time. Using the Abyssal Whip, Arclight on Abyssal Demons, barraging Necreals unextended, doing Smoke Devils with the Bracelet of Slaughter, doing extended Dust Devils, no Slaughter there. Smoke's the only place I'm using Slaughter. Doing unextended Dark Beasts as of quite recently. Doing unextended Suqua, unextended Black Dragons. Galfights, obviously, as you can see in front of you. And Dagonoths. And it's been alright. I was doing extended Dark Beasts up until very recently because I wanted some AFK time, I guess, but I've just gotten really fucking sick of extended Dark Beast tasks. They take so long, but they don't take long enough at the same time. Like, they're always about 35 minutes, which isn't enough to watch 2 episodes or something. So I spend like the last 10 minutes at the task just kind of piss-assing around and waiting for it to finish. And when I was watching all the podcasts recently, I kept getting like non-stop Dark Beast tasks, and I fucking hated it. Couldn't stand it. Drove me insane. It was disgusting. So unextended those ones, and I was actually doing Blood Velds at the start rather than Dust Devils because of the fact that I hated doing them on American Worlds. But recently started skipping Blood Velds again, just because there's no real reason for me to do them. I think I'm running at a negative point gain, so about minus 0.6 over time, but I've got, how many points do I have? Almost 6,000, especially when you take into account I've got 1,000 boost coming up, so points aren't a big issue for me with Slayer. And then I've got 20 mil magic to go and no actual amount of Slayer to go, but I'll probably end up with about 105 mil. I think. I haven't actually recalculated since I changed my task set. Just sort of did it on a whim, but no, I've got a couple of options in terms of how I want to go about doing it. The first one is to sit down and put in the effort to try and get it as quickly as possible, which is kind of what I've been doing so far. And then the other option is to really take it slow and get it eventually. So at the current rate I'm going, I'm probably playing 25 to 30 hours a week because I have recently started full-time work, finished school finally after 5 years of tertiary education, and I can't stand education anymore, so I'm really happy to be out of that. But nah, full-time work 5 days a week is cutting into my time definitely. I'm sleeping a lot more, and I get home and I don't really feel like logging straight in. It's a bit sad really. But what was I on? I was on how much I am looking to play. Probably 25 to 30 hours a week at, I don't know, 90 to 100k magic experience an hour. So yeah, I've got hopefully less than 2 months of this to go. Really exciting stuff. But then I've also got a bunch of magic. I'll be shifting my Abyssal Demons to Strength soon. Just finish that off while I'm slaying, no point in doing Nightmare Zone or anything. But yeah, still got that fishing chunk to do. That'll take a wee while, I guess. And then it'll be the unsubscribing and not playing any more Life for Me, because I just cannot stand the direction the game has gone. I don't really want to make this video about updates, because I think I've said my piece on updates now. I've put it all out there. I've talked about basically everything I wanted to say, and people keep calling it an essay, but it's not structured as an essay, so please kindly stop calling it an essay. I know it's a document, it's a report, it's something. It's not an essay though, I don't think, on all the updates from launch, because I've got a bit of a, I don't even know if you call it unique, because it's not unique, because the other people who also have it, but an outdated, a different perspective. I've been playing the whole fucking time, and I've been against every other update that's come into the game the entire fucking time. Yet I'm still playing because I have a unfortunate propensity to just adjust to whatever the fuck comes into the game and keep playing anyway. But nah, I've had enough. And I know I said I've had enough about 6 months ago, but I've still been playing, and that's because I do genuinely enjoy playing the game. Unfortunately, again. And I didn't want to quit cold turkey, and I didn't want to just quit with a bunch of unresolved stuff left to do. So I've sort of kept petering along at a rather steady pace, playing the game, trying to get out the last of my opinions on the game, which is done. That one's finished. I didn't actually get around to saying everything I wanted to in that document. I think the initial draft of just the body was a bit over 30,000 words, but a lot of the cutbacks I did were in terms of removing repeated content. So a lot of stuff about saying, this NPC is now just right click. I said it once, said my piece, and then didn't repeat it over and over again, because as much as I wanted the document itself to be, I guess what you call an orgy of evidence, I didn't like how much of an orgy of evidence it had become, so yeah, I cut it down a bit and focused a bit more on structuring the conclusion aspect of it, and I'm quite happy with how it came out. I don't expect any changes to come as a result of it. I don't expect anyone to read it and actually care. That's fine. It was very much a cathartic activity for me. It was something to. It was real fucking liberating to just sit down and write a whole bunch about stuff I didn't like. As lovely and positive a mindset as that sounds, I really enjoyed doing it. So that's what really matters in the end. I'm still playing. At the end of the day, I am still playing because I do really enjoy a lot of things about the game. The open-worlded nature, the massive depth that there is for optimization in terms of both micro efficiency and macro efficiency. That's kind of what got me playing the game, and what got me addicted to the game in the first place. What got me playing the game in the first place was I didn't have anything else to do. and I wanted a new game to play, so I ended up playing Project RS 2006, that pre-old school private server. It was really poorly run. All the content in it was broken, but I don't know, something about it was just really endearing to me. I guess a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was never a member as a child, and so I finally got to access all these member skills, and I never got to train thieving. I'd never trained thieving before. I'd always wanted to train thieving. I'd always read about all the different NPCs in the game that you could thieve from, but I'd never thieved from any of them, so it's quite liberating to click that pickpocket button on them. It felt very good. And then I just kind of stuck around because there was something to do. And I guess there's also the community aspect of it. Early on, I got to give a huge shout out to the RSS7G boys, to the VG thread, for keeping me alive. Basically, I fucking loved those early days of the thread. For the few of you who also use RSS7G who are listening to this, thank you so much for all the good times over the years. Initially, it was like the No Fun VG CC, that was a good one. And then we moved to, I think it was Jintar CC after that, was a goodie. And there was the Lolicon King CC, that one fucking sucked, hated that. And I think we went back to Jintar because there was that one autist who kept making spam bots. And then I think it moved into the Lara CC, that was a good one, loved that, loved the people, made a bunch of good friends in there. Shout out to the gang, good times. I honestly, so all this stuff was back in 2013. Basically, until I finished 99 Slayer, I was still fairly casual with how I approached the game. I didn't look to optimize macro too much. I didn't look to optimize micro too much. I just sort of pissed around, and it was great. I do honestly kind of wish I'd stuck to that sort of play style the whole time, and I don't know, I just enjoyed my time playing the game more, but no, it all sort of changed when everybody from that community stopped playing and I started committing a lot more to Hexus. And that's been a lot of my thrust over the last 4 years. I've been a member now over 4 years. Been administration team for 3.5, 4 years, coming up 4. And yeah, it's been good. It's treated me well. I've had my minor power trips wherever I can. I think I've done a decent enough job. I don't know, guess I'm going to say it. I am going to be stepping down from my position fairly soon. Whenever the fuck Randy gets back from his vacation, I want to get him to start looking for someone to replace me, because I want to start shifting out rather than suddenly jerking out at the end of it all. I don't want to go cold turkey, like I said, so I'll still be sticking around in the clan, but I don't want to have any responsibilities. I just finished doing the awards. That took a while today. I just finished doing the podcast best of recently, and yeah, I was never the person who was looked to do a lot of the recruiting or the ranking up or the talking to people, but I think I did a decent job of doing the bigger jobs, alright, who wants to do this then jobs. Fantasy HP was good. I enjoyed doing that this year. Although I won't be playing around the time it starts, if I can get my way in terms of the format, I might think about hosting it again. I have to rejig a lot of the schedules around it, but I think it will be a good fun time to host it again. But yeah, I don't know, I think the community's been really good. I think I came off a bit on the wrong side of things in a earlier video where I said, I hate the community, it's toxic, but it's not. I've got a lot of good friends that I've met over the years, and I don't know, it's been kind of sad watching phases come and go, watching people fade in and out and still being here. Sorry, I'm gonna drink again. Because I've been through a lot of different eras of the high level community. I kind of laugh when I see people talk about, like first wave, second wave, third wave skillers, and they're saying third wave skillers are people who started this year. But I consider myself like a third wave sort of skiller compared to a lot of my older contemporaries, so it's a bit fucked up in that aspect. To me, you've got the early first wave of like Gibram and I guess Elvis, Foot, the two Razzie and Jabberwocky and all of the Finns. So it's Green, Laylador, Acid Soul, all those sorts of guys who were sort of the first wave of skillers, and then you had like the second wave, which was like Sick Nerd through to, I don't know, Wrens, those sorts of dudes, and then you had me, the third wave, which was like me, Randy, Jace, Michael, Silly Apple, John Cena, all these old guys who, you say their names, and people these days are like, who the fuck's that? I'm going to open up the time to max high scores. So I would have slotted in, move this over. I would have slotted in if I'd maxed about here, maybe either before or after Randy, depending on how much I'd actually bothered to play and tried. But yeah, I'd call this first wave plus the Finns and Elvis and a couple others. Then I'd call 2 there, second wave, plus I don't know, was anybody else going for a big 200 mil? I think Sathon was probably high ranked around that time. I don't know. And then from like Michael through to, I'll put the cutoff at about Killers probably. Be another generation, and then you start to really go down to the shit. I mean, look what we got: Mini Finbar, X-Kid Goku, Jesus, Cat King, high, very, very high quality players down there. But just knowing the people that have gone by, and I'm never going to talk to them again, it's kind of shitty, because I've been quite neglectful in terms of, I guess, getting to know newer people in the community, and that's, like, if I were to say that I had any failing in terms of my tenure as a Hexus general, it would be not bothering to get to know anybody in the last 2 years. Just kind of sad. I've been a bit of a hermit, really. Especially with I don't know, I'm pissed about TeamSpeak dying. Real fucking pissed about that. I don't think it needed to go. I'm not happy about it. I didn't agree with it. And I definitely did agree with everybody moving into my fucking Discord server. Before it was the Hexus Discord server, it was actually my Discord server. And without me even being consulted, I came home from class one day and found about another 100 people in the server, all ranked up and everything, and was told that it was now the Hexus server. And the worst part about that is I refuse to hand over ownership of it, which means I'll still be sitting there as an administrator in the server even after I've quit, and so that's kind of shitty. Lovely, I'm going to have to hop here. If I don't get an Australian World of Dust Devils, I sometimes log off, sometimes lovely. Sometimes just skip the task because I fucking hate doing them on American words because it is so gross. Did I even hit that? Did not. But yeah, I'm a fucking old man. Like straight up, I'm an old man in this community now. Is like in terms of contemporaries for me, there is basically fucking nobody. The people who I considered great players in the past are either not around or not mentioned. It's a bit sad how people look at players in a vacuum these days rather than relative to their own time. Like, I mean, personally, I'd consider Vestfold one of the most impressive players in old school, but because of his later antics, people just sort of joke about him, say, "Oh, he's just the fucking autist who drank the tomato soup and fell over." When I don't know, that doesn't do him the justice that I think he deserves. He's a good player. Even Sick Nerd at his peak was a good player who was able to put up good hours. So yeah, it's a bit. My opinions on the game are steadily becoming less and less relevant as time goes on. And I don't want to make this too much of a farewell video because I am still going to be playing for another couple of months. But yeah, this is about it for me. There's not much more I have to say, have to do. Done my bit. I've said my bit. I like to think I've left the game in a better state than what I picked it up in, is the Kiwi saying. I think it's a recent sort of thing I've started to try to bring in skills and stuff, but no, it's been good. I've definitely enjoyed playing RuneScape. I don't want to come off as sounding like I regret my time spent playing, because I'd have to be some sort of special sort of fucked up to regret 15,000 hours of a video game, but nah, it's been good. And I'm not going to let this go on any longer. Realised I completely forgot to say something in the video that I had even written down to try and remind myself to remember to say it, but no, something I mentioned 1-2 videos ago was I wanted to upload all my screenshots. So today I sat down and went through about 10,000 pictures and cut out anything that wasn't entirely related to RuneScape, or was a classified document, and got rid of them. And sort of, yeah, now I've got a file containing about 7,000 images that I'm going to post a link to in the description down below. Check that out. It'll be a good time to look through. Hopefully I didn't leave in like bank account details or anything. I don't think I did, because I spent fucking ages going through them, but no, there's some good memories in there. If you want to know anything about them, just toss me a line.